And welcome back to the Heart of Chaos. I am Javier once again, and I welcome you back to The Legend of Zelda Skyward Sword. In the last episode, we started off the ancient cistern and got further in than we previously did. We have the new item, which is the whip, which will allow us to get further on into the dungeon. We've already seen some practical uses. What we have to do over here is use the whip to turn a lever. This lever will be used multiple times. As you can see, we are moving the giant statue into the hells below. I am fairly certain we will be able to tackle the rest of this temple in this episode, though it might be a little longer. I noticed I said that during the Laneru mining facility and ended up having to cut the boss out into a separate episode, but it was also plot heavy and I felt that was a good move on my part. So let's go ahead and make our way back into the statue, doing that specific... If you were wondering before, let me get my thoughts straight, why there was a door leading seemingly nowhere inside of the statue base, this is why, because if they didn't have that door there, when you had put the statue to go down a level, you would not have a way inside of the statue at that point. So they put this here to allow you to actually enter the statue rather than be stranded and find some other convenient way you have to get down. Alright, well, we saw that. Let's head down all the way to the bottom. I didn't realize that. All the way to the bottom. Now there's a door here instead of the boss fight that we had before. Let's go ahead and enter, why don't we? So, now we're in this darker area. You might also be noticing that there's a creature over there. What is this creature? Well, let's go ahead and take a look at him. This is a cursed bokoblin. These horrifying bokoblin reanimates after death. Analysis indicates it fears pure, shiny items and will startle at the sign of a sacred shield. It is able to reanimate purely through its hatred of this world and its attachment to outlandish undergarments. Yeah, they're really keeping that thing, and also it said pants, not undergarments. What these are is this is Skyward Sword's equivalent to the Re-Dead. Also, as she mentioned before with the Sacred Shield, go ahead and show them the Sacred Shield, they will cower and back away, allowing you to go at them. They will not fall over until dead. I'm sorry, they do fall over before death, that's not what I meant to say. You have to use the piercing ability to give a finishing blow after they actually fall. I do believe they can die, but it is... And they, as you can see, they do lunge at you and hold you down, which, these are probably the kiddiest version of Re-Deads we've ever probably faced in any form of a Zelda game. I would say Wind Waker's had that, but until recently, well, not until Skyward Sword, I guess, even though Wind Waker's were still purely terrifying. And we got an evil crystal, which is nice, because this is a rarer treasure. We actually have our second one, so it is not a treasure we have not gotten. We've actually only missed one treasure so far, which is actually a fairly common one. I'm surprised we haven't gotten around to that one yet, but no harm, no foul, I suppose. Now, this area down here basically splits the temple's themes in two. This is the underworld, or hell, that I mentioned in that Buddhist story that really drove this temple forward. Above was heaven, or the place you would strive for in your daily life, with ever-flowing water, bright, cheery atmosphere. Sure, there were enemies, but it was mostly plant life and very standard enemies. Some bokoblins were there, but they were normal living bokoblins, which, you know, even in heaven you can have a darker heart, as that would insinuate. But down here, it's all cursed, and all of the enemies down here are unnatural, including the fire keys, which are keys that have been lit aflame. Hey, look, a monster claw! These are oddly rare, which I don't get, personally, but regardless. Anyway, there's a blessed butterfly thing over here. We can go ahead and take out our harp, and if we go ahead and play it, there will be a goddess wall. I think I've mentioned goddess walls before. If I haven't, I apologize. I will be going over it again. With goddess walls, you are able to draw in the picture of something you might need. What I'm going to do is I'm going to draw a heart It's a very odd heart, but I'm sure that will count. It did! Yay! It is very forgiving in what you draw. There's actually a piece of heart that I managed to miss throughout with the goddess walls, but something we'll get into in a minute. Anyway, over here, a gemstone shines deep within the eye. Strike it to shut the mouth and dam the flow. So we have these bombs over here, but we will be using these shortly. We have to go over and find this particular gemstone. It's not difficult to find. All we have to do is use the beetle to hit a certain spot. We can go ahead and walk along these lily pads with no problem. Do not fall into this stuff. I believe I do not believe it's instant death at all. I actually don't know what happens. I believe it would just put you back where you were, but I'm not 100% certain on that. Anyway, the gemstone that they were referring to, if we go ahead and take out our beetle, is right inside of this eye set thing. This statue of what looks like a bokoblin of some sorts. But I can't confirm that. Motorcycle outside. Regardless. Let's hit the statue. The switch inside the statue. I really wish I got that right. Now that, you know, things are slowing down and it's quite obvious what we need to do with these bombs, I wanted to get into, you know, the fact why this is my favorite temple. Or dungeon, I should say. Again, spoiled by Ocarina of Time. This is my favorite dungeon in Skyward Sword because it's so unique, so different. And the depth behind, you know, why it came to be is really neat. I mean, I've been surrounded by Buddhism my entire life. And to hear that there was a Buddhist story behind this specific dungeon, I guess it really resonated with me. It gave me a sense of, you know, a feeling of home. And, you know, obviously it's darker. And it really took the art style of Skyward Sword and showed the two halves. The darker half and the brighter half. And I guess that it was a really nice design concept, and it really struck home. Plus, it's a different change of pace. There is no official water temple in this game. This is the only temple dungeon which we could really state was water themed. We all don't want to go back to water temples, as most of the fandom despises the water temple from Ocarina of Time, and those who have actually played Majora's Mask, well, oh, I'm sorry for those who experienced the one in Majora's Mask. That one I don't like. The Great Bay Temple I did not like. It's not that difficult either, I just don't like it. Alright. But enough of that. We're here to talk about Skyward Sword and not necessarily to talk about Majora's Mask and the feelings of hatred towards specific places. Anyway, coming over here, we have to use the whip on another switch to go ahead and actually use it to change the direction of this giant pillar. Go ahead and jump down. That wasn't a jump. Wasn't a jump. I'm fairly certain we can jump this. Yeah, we go. That's what I wanted. We go over here, and we now can go a little bit more forward. And look at them, more cursed bokoblins. I actually find cursed bokoblins to be one of the easiest monsters to get a great battle rating on. Mostly because, well, they don't do damage fast enough. They don't swing at you. They tend to just grab you, and they don't do damage. At least not for a while. I've never gotten to a realistic point where they're able to do damage. I clearly moved! Game. Don't be mean. Alright, now that we're actually on it, can I go fully up? Is that the thing? No. We want to go down here, yes? Okay. Woot. Alright, now we just gotta hop up here. And we have another switch over here. I believe this is what we want to activate. Yes. Now, contrary, do not jump down here because you're just going to be going backwards. I've done that countless times. You're actually meant to turn around and hop up on this one and ride this pillar all the way to the other side. It's a little bit of a trick. A very nice one too, because it takes the idea of muscle reflexes, where, oh, well, you know, you go forward because that's instinctual. But in fact, they want you to go backwards the long way, which, you know, it seems the shorter way at first, but the way you would jump down going forward would take much longer. Regardless, it's time we jump down here. Why? Well, if we head over this way, you'll see that there is a pipe that we can use to get up here. Should we need to go back down, for whatever reason, heading down this way will lead us back to the entrance from which we came. Now let's go ahead and hop up this vine, or rope. But as we're about to climb up the rope, this is where this story, the Buddhist story, really comes from. As the man from the story tries to climb out of hell into the heavens above, his sins climb after him and pull him back down into the dungeon below, into the hells below. Now, this isn't really represented in terms of Link has sinned in some possible way, and his sins are coming after him. This is really just artistic interpretation through a video game. But nonetheless, I thought it was really neat, and thought I would share it. Anyway, there's a statue, a thing over here. Return the stone giant to its original form and descend below the earth again along the thread. There you will find the key to the path ahead. This is a really neat way of doing things, because now we have this platform that allows us to activate the switch over here with our whip again. Simply whip at it and pull it up, and the giant statue will rise back up. We can go back down the thread as we just read on the message, and we will see something there that was not there when we first went down. Or at least it's always been there, but hidden from our sight. Alright, so we can go ahead and hop down here. You will not take fall damage from hitting that. Oh, hey, look, an amber relic. Fine, I'll take it. Skip! Okay, now that we have that amber relic out of the way, we can now head back down this way with the water down over here, which is really pretty! Going down here. And let's go ahead and grab the treasure chest from down here. Now, one thing I really love about Skyward Sword is its art style. I've mentioned this countless times before, and this is a topic that's come into my mind mainly because of a recent video that I have watched and really enjoyed. Now, one thing you have to do here is you have to escape. Don't worry, there is plenty of time to get out. Now, these cursed bokoblins are crushed under the weight of the giant statue. Now, one of the things I love about this game is its art style, and many people have proclaimed that, you know, why did they release it on the Wii when the Wii U was coming? It would have been better looking and a higher fidelity. Well, it came for the Wii because it was developed for the Wii. It was developed to use the motion controls, and they want to use a Zelda game that utilizes the Wii U gamepad fully, rather than an interpretation that they ported up, like they have with, say, Pikmin 3. So that was a reason why. But even with its resolution being low, it really comes out and it looks gorgeous. Sure, it's not the most the graphic fidelity isn't as high as it should, as we would like, but it still looks great. Anyway, enough about me rambling about the art style, even though it was a very short rant. Let's go ahead and put this inside of its chosen part and slide it right in. We now have the ability to go to the top of this tower, of the statue below. To get up, all you have to do is use the whip and spin these four switches, I apologize. Ancient automaton, Coloctus. So begins our battle with Coloctus. Now you might notice that we do have the whip that was given to us as we went through the dungeon. Well, not given to us, we earned the whip, and we're going to have to be using it a lot. So the idea is we want him to smash the ground, and we're going to use the whip to pull off his arms as they land. What you want to do is you want to make sure you are close enough for him to use this attack. If you are far away, he will throw the axes on his body at you like a boomerang. It is not the intended method. So we need to be just far enough, too close, and things will go awry. So when he starts looking at he starts flailing his axes about really all cool, like, he becomes a problem. Okay, come on, smash the ground, please. You know you want to. I'll whip you. And there you go. He's smashing the ground as he's supposed to. That reveals his heart. Or weak point, just go ahead and continuously poke at it. It's not that big a deal. You can, usually get rid of his axe arms too. But for some reason he didn't attack me with them. This is not a problem though. We only took a heart of damage. Keep in mind on hero mode you do not replenish hearts, so if you are playing along in hero mode or just playing the game in hero mode later, he does do more damage. Though, well, I'm sure we'll get into that at some point in this project. I wouldn't want to leave That's a bomb! Sometimes. Why is it one button sometimes? Okay. Well, now, I need you to smash the ground, buddy. Really, there's no button presses you need and you don't even need to get it out for your sword. You just need to press B lightly when you need to get the whip out later, because it's all swinging the Wii remote. Now, this boss fight does have a second phase. This is not particularly a difficult phase, however, as he is... There we go. That's what I wanted. As he is rooted to the ground. Alright, let's go ahead and just whack it at him. There you go. You saw his axes break. But that's only the start of our misery. This is Coloctus' second phase. He had legs under there, and now he has a ton of different weapons which look a lot like scimitars. This part is what people notably call one of the best parts in Skyward Sword itself. He will have all these weapons and he will use them against you. You might notice that when he whipped off his arm, his sword, well, is now on the floor. What we want to do is we want to stay out of that range. Oh, come on. Oh my god, the camera. Alright, well look, we're going to pick this up. And we're going to cheat this system. Swing the Wii remote at him, and you can go ahead and slice this giant blade at his weak point. You do not have to break all arms, it just gets easier when you do. But he's only going to be angrier at us now. There is a phase where we cannot hurt him or anything. He's just going to continuously be swinging his blades at us. He will break the pillars around us. Breaking the pillars allows hearts to be dropped on the ground should you need them. Okay. He's now going to be summoning cursed bokoblins, which are meant to hold us down as he gets close. But they are much weaker than the bokoblins we fight as standard enemies, just because they don't necessarily want you to be constantly knocking them down if you potentially had trouble with the cursed bokoblins down below. Okay, well, he's going to be swinging at us now. That will get faster as the fight progresses, so just be forewarned. as you are fighting Coloctus. Anyway, now that he's slowed down, let's break his legs off and slice at his weak points. Hey, come on, buddy. There we go. That's what I wanted. Slicing and dicing. Alright, now he's entering his last phase, I do believe. It is at this point that he is going to be the fastest with his different sword strikes. Plus, he is faster as he moves. Or actually, maybe there is another phase after this. I apologize. It has, again, been a while since I've actually fought this boss or done this dungeon in particular. Okay. Come on, Coloctus. You know you want to fight. Well, I don't even want this one. Okay, he's going to summon more bokoblins. This is not too difficult. Just flailing at them. In many cases, I would not recommend flailing at enemies, but the cursed bokoblins seem to be my one restriction to that rule. Or exception is the right word, I should say. Anyway, do not go charging immediately at him with his blade, as he's going to be swinging the swords at you, and you'll probably just end up getting a hit, unless you're fast enough, which I'll commend your speed at that point. Alright, he's getting a bit too close for comfort. Let's go ahead and chop your legs off, Coloctus. Choppy, choppy. Choppy, choppy. Alright. There we go. Coloctus is done. The flames of Furor have improved your sword, making it longer and sharp enough to do twice as much damage. The sword you carry is different since I last saw you. Yes, I see it has much improved. To think the goddess's chosen hero is but a mere boy. Quite a twist. Chosen hero or not, you do not yet possess the strength required to wield the full power of that blade. You must train yourself further. Devote yourself wholly to this task. Farewell, boy. That's not the last time we will be seeing the water dragon Pharaon. And with our blade enhanced in our sheath, too, we have to make our way back to the Isle of Songs. And in the next episode of The Legend of Zelda, Skyward Sword, we're going to do just that. I hope you enjoyed our run through the Ancient Cistern. Go ahead and leave your comments through as to what you thought of this specific dungeon. I much prefer to hear feedback and would greatly enjoy it. I'm an AFK Chaotic Reunion, and I'll see you all then.